What is up, everybody? It's Thursday morning, so you know what that means. We were all up late last night, Wednesday, waiting for the JJK 256 spoilers to drop, and guess what? They did. Once more, these are spoilers, so it's not the full context of the chapter. There's still going to be some stuff missing, maybe some pages in between that help fill in some clues or stuff that we have questions for. But as of right now, the chapter starts out with Gojo giving an explanation, presumably about Black Flash, especially since Sukuna is about to hit Black Flash on Maru. That's where the last chapter left off. It opens up with Gojo kind of giving us an expose of what the Black Flash actually is, and it goes into him further explaining it. And I have to say, whenever Gojo is gone, the man just owns the room, and I love this character. I know so many of us do. Gojo is such a unique character, even though he's so similar to so many others in different anime. He stands out to me. But he's explaining the properties of Black Flash, and even admitting to it that he can't even hit it with his 6 eyes. Presumably he could see the technique, but that doesn't mean that he can just go out there and hit it. Even for him, it still requires a little bit of luck. And we're moving on into the chapter. This is probably right after the end of that flashback, and presumably on the other side of this page, honestly, you see this, you see Sukuna standing there all menacingly, missing an arm, and everyone, Maki, Yuji, Miguel, and Choso's like, shit, man, I don't want to be here no more. But you have all of these guys here. Sukuna is just, this is a great panel, and I've kind of already gone ahead and this. I would like to see more out of Miguel, but let's go on and move on. Everyone starts jumping in. We got Choso up here, we got Maki, we got Yuji in here. I don't see Miguel, but everyone just starts blitzing Sukuna, and this is Sukuna that is weakened, even though he just hit a Black Flash and starts to regain some momentum. This is going to be their best chance to try to get him. Yuji and Choso eventually wind up looking like they double team him. I think we got to figure out what happens to Maki, but I think she gets slashed. I don't think it's going to be anything super deadly, like it's not going to kill her. She's not going to get off screen like Gojo did, but I definitely think Maki may have been sidelined just for a bit. She's got to heal for a little bit, and with her heavily restriction, she heals like Wolverine. But it looks like Yuji is using some type of metal railing around to pin Sukuna, and then Choso is going to deliver a piercing blood straight down on him. I mean, this is just a beautiful sequence, but presumably it looks like Sukuna dive, ducks out of the way, like he's been watching dodgeball. Then Maki comes back and tries to pierce Sukuna, and Sukuna just gives her the evil grin, because she comes up and she's like, hey, this is my evil grin, here we go, we're gonna pierce. You can see that he caught the blade, and she's a little shocked by this. And look at Sukuna right here. It looks like he's dipping around. Look at that face. Oh my gosh. Sukuna hits the third mother freaking Black Flash. This is the other side of that, and he hits it on Maki. Oh no, not only does she get slashed, she gets freaking Black Flashed. Sheesh. But we got some bleach air running over here. I mean, look at this, just God step all over the place. Choso even looks like, I mean, Choso could have got hit with the Black Flash. He looks like he's contemplating something. I don't know, I can't read Japanese. We need the translations. Sukuna uses dismantle on Maki. Oh, freak. Dude, what a cold freaking drawing of Sukuna. However, I don't think this is going to be deadly to Maki. If we look here closely at this page, it doesn't look like it's actually the slashes are going through her. It's just like surface level around her. Though they all seem to be kind of focused on her midsection. So Sukuna may be trying to direct his slashes at like the least amount of surface area on her body, just so he can try to get through. But I think Maki is going to survive this. Then Choso attacks Sukuna. This is probably him reacting to seeing Maki get Black Flash, and he's like, we have to do something right here, right now. And I know so many people hate on Choso, but my man is goated. And he hits Sukuna. Sukuna's attack or slash is flying out of there, so he's trying to react and get in front of him so he can, I don't know, harden to not get affected by the slashes. But as soon as he turns to try to block or do whatever he is to the slashes, Sukuna winds up right behind him and it looks like he's about to yeet him like the King Kong finisher in Call of Duty. And that's exactly what he does, into the nearest freaking wall. And you can see Choso's expression of just thinking, damn, even if he hardened himself, he felt that. And then Sukuna just blitzes him and gives him a straight 1-2 right into the gut. And we could definitely see that. Oh, look, it shows right up here in this corner that Choso catches that 1-2 with like his arm gut section, probably uses his harden to like catch Sukuna. And then that's when Yuji comes in here and it looks like he's about to deliver a heavy blow to Sukuna. And finally, Miguel is with LaRue, who looks like he has a giant hole in his stomach. And Miguel's like, yo, I don't even need to read Japanese to tell this body language. He's saying, we have done enough. We've tried. Sukuna is too much. let's get out of here with our lives. And LaRue is probably saying, no, we got a job. We came here to do a job, and we're going to see this through. Now, no picture here on this slide, but it does note that here, JJK Maya, shout out to you, Gojo, over whichever account that you're on, you're really supporting the, like, carrying the JJK community. But he notes here that Gege says Nanami still has the highest Black Flash record because Gojo instantly finishes his opponents. So even though Gojo has hit maybe more Black Flashes, or I shouldn't say Black Flashes in life, like Gojo could hit theoretically more Black Flashes on an opponent than Nanami, but since Gojo is so strong, he instantly finishes opponents. Well, Nanami is not as strong, and it's going to have to naturally be just a longer drawn out fight because of it. And because it's a longer fight, there's more chances for him to hit a Black Flash. Just to give some praise to Nanami and understanding, like, bring Gojo down to not reality because he's just so strong he instantly finishes it, but like understanding why Gojo didn't have the most amount of Black Flashes since he's the most talented modern day sorcerer. Just he's too damn strong. Now we do get a huge revelation on this next chapter. Yuji uses blood manipulation on Sukuna. Let's freaking go. And it does look like Yuji's coming up. He's trying to get up in Sukuna's face because you could see Sukuna's hand grabbing him like he did earlier when he was fighting Yuta and about slash his chest open. But it's shocking Sukuna here seeing that Yuji is doing this and is looking like he grazes. You could see that the convergence or whatever the piercing blood is. And Sukuna just barely dodges it. Man, Yuji's coming in. Yuji's starting to look like a true MC now. You get to chokehold on Sukuna and grabs him, but Yuji fakes out with blood manipulation and gets Sukuna in submission. So that's exactly what we just saw, but in reverse. So if we see this, you see Sukuna's hand. You can see that Yuji's trying to pull him down. Kind of like, honestly, if you remember, this is very similar to what Gojo did to Sukuna back when he was in Megami's form. And Gojo hits him with the freaking Yu Yu Hakusho's the spirit gun, but it winds up being what, a red. He shoots him with the red point blank. It looks like Yuji's doing the same thing but hitting him with a piercing blood point blank. Oh my lord. And then once more, this is right into it, right where we could see that hand, the hands coming together and hitting him with the piercing blood. So confirming that Yuji at least has blood manipulation. I personally don't think that's going to be just his technique. I think Yuji is going to be able to house multiple techniques, including Sukuna's, because Gojo gave us that kind of enlightenment at the very beginning of the series. Now, Choso and Yuji teamwork as Yuji hits Sukuna as he heavy throws up blood. Okay. So, once more, Sukuna's going to go in. He's going to beat up Choso, eventually try to punch a hole through him, who, when he does, Choso uses his blood manipulation to kind of harden this area and try to lock Sukuna in. And then that's when Yuji comes in and gives him his notorious 1-2 good night, like left, right, good night kind of combo, and forces Sukuna to cough up blood. And we can confirm that his cursed energy output, Sukuna's, is risen from the Black Flashes, but we cannot confirm that he has he got his RCT back. And you can imagine that he hasn't because he still has the hole in his chest. He's still missing his arms. He still has a hole in his back from where he got stabbed completely through. So it's the curse energy output may be here, but maybe the RCT to his brain to get everything back 100% hasn't happened yet. And just throwing down, we could see that Yuji is just locked the freak in. We got more Black Flashes incoming, and we know this face. When Yuji's got that black face, no pun intended, with the eyes wide open and looking like he's charged up for like freaking guns, like rock, paper, scissors, and he's hitting him with a rock. I cannot wait. What is this next page? What is this next one? LaRue uses his curse technique on Sukuna as a distraction as Yuji charges in. So we could see that Yuji is about to, looking like he's locking in to Sukuna. He's about to punch him. And right before he's punching him, LaRue, who's getting carried by Miguel, is saying, no, we still have a job to do, uses the second half of his curse technique. For everyone who thought his curse technique was purely the Super Smash Brothers hand, where you flop around and make a hand do whatever he needs to do, he uses that hand to grab onto Sukuna, metaphorically, because he's grabbing onto his heartstrings. The heart pasties have a purpose. They're not just a fashion design, because he catches on to Sukuna's heartstrings. And you can even tell by Sukuna's eyes with the heart-shaped lock that he is now become, I don't want to say infatuated, but if this was an MMO RPG, if this was, solo leveling, Leroy just used, what is it, taunt? And just completely got his enemies distracted looking over at him. And this distracts Sukuna forcibly for our man Yuji to hit one of the nastiest pages in all of JJK. Just a straight black flash to Sukuna's, presumably the hole in his chest, because he already had a hole in his chest, and that looks like a hand going through, and this black flash is just going everywhere. It almost looks like it's like radiating out of Sukuna. And with a cold ass stare, our man has supposedly awoken. And we're not going to find out what this awakening is, and we're not going to find out next week because unfortunately we have a break next week. But look at Yuji's eyes. They are very much like Sukuna's, and I think that means he is finally opening and realizing the true usage of curse technique, of this whole curse energy universe, this whole system. I think Yuji is going to understand it at a level where he could just manipulate it freely, kind of do whatever he needs to do, whatever he can imagine, almost like the green ring. Instead of a green ring, it's just curse technique. But he's going to be able to manipulate Sukuna's and then overpower Sukuna with his own technique and completely erase this Sukuna out of existence, and maybe even hit him with his own fuga. Maybe I'm smoking the most amount of copium. I mean, what you just a little low on that Yuji pack, so I need to dope up. You know what I'm saying? But damn, this chapter goes hard. Not a lot of exposition so far. I mean, at the beginning we had Gojo's flashback, and I'll be curious to see the true translation of the 4 pages to get kind of context on the Black Flash, Gojo's, reasoning of it, his explanation of it, and then once more, maybe we get more credit to what Yuji's awakening is. But unfortunately, Gojo, aka Maya, says JuJutsu Kaisen Manga will be on break next week. You gotta wait a bit more to know what Yuji's gaining this awakening. And I think his awakening is just like the usage, maybe not the usage, but the realization of him becoming a sorcerer and taking over that spot as the #1 sorcerer of his time. Gojo, that was his whole thing, is he wanted to raise the next break, the next level of sorcerer, because he thought that archaic system that we have kind of all used with S rank sorcerers, great sorcerers, all of this, that system is inherently flawed, and that this next wave of sorcerers is going to all be special grade and above, because they're all going to be a level above. But with that said, I want to know what you guys think. What do you think about this chapter? I'm in love with this chapter. I love it. I think it's so good. Only thing that I hate is that we have to wait a week to figure out what the hell is this awakening. But I guess in the meantime, we can just wait for the weekend and read the full chapter and just try to get some more copium around Yuji. And if we're feeling low, just grab your nearest pen and take a rip.